I stepped down on a pine cone, right? And then, whoa, there goes my ankle. Pine cone, you know.
Hello, I'm Abby. And next week, we have Fine, You Pick, Existenz. But this week, we have a very special interview with a actor named Mr. Ryan O'Neal. And I had a great time speaking to him. I learned a lot. And without further ado, Mr. Ryan O'Neal. Well, we are pleased to welcome to the UpNerd stage Mr. Ryan O'Neal, Canadian actor, all-around good guy. Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, so we just recently got an Instagram account because marketing is important. The algorithm fed me the scene from Brilliant Minds that you were in with Zachary Quinto, I think was the lead actor in that scene there.
We are doing everything in our power to resolve this delicate issue. Poison control and the EPA are coming in to test for mold, water toxicity, asbestos, gas leaks, any environmental exposure. This is Dr. Wolf. He and his team of neurologists have traveled from the city to shadow the girls and get to the bottom of this issue.
That was only the second time I've ever been in front of a camera. Was that?
Yeah, that's what intrigued me by it was second time you've been in front of a camera and here you are.
Yeah, talking to Spock.
Yeah, exactly right. To see where you have come in a year really gives me a lot of hope.
Cool.
What made you decide a year and 7 weeks ago that, okay, that's it, we're making this change?
My first job is I'm a CPA and professional accountant, so a lot of people don't know that. So I've actually been balancing that this entire year while I'm booking all these jobs.
Good.
So yeah, that definitely keeps you busy. But I'm an absolute movie super freak. You couldn't find anybody that knows more about movies, I don't think.
All right.
I own 800 4Ks, Blu-rays, just super freak my entire life.
Huh.
And yeah, I've never been in front of my camera ever until a little over a year ago. And people kept telling me, well, you should just go do background just for kicks. And I'm like, well, I watch all the extras on the Blu-rays and few people actually watch those. So I'm like, why not just go watch it in real? So, okay. So I signed up for this background agency and 4 in a row. So yeah, the first one was a movie with Linda Hamilton and I'm sitting right behind her. And the next one was that Brilliant Minds with Zachary Quinto. And the AD comes up to me and she says, yeah, you want to kill this guy. So I'm giving him the death stare for 5 hours. So that's fun. And then the third one, I was with the entire cast of Murdoch Mysteries in the police station.
Hey, Murdoch Mysteries!
And then the fourth one was Alexander Skarsgård, Murderbot, and me and my friend are playing space cops, and we're going up and down the stairs, and we're shaking his hand and giggling around and laughing. 75 extras all looking at us going, how'd they do that? Right? So yeah, going one-on-one with Alexander Skarsgård, fourth time in front of the camera. So I'm like, you know what? I think this isn't just for kicks anymore. I think I like this. And they keep picking me for some reason to be right in the middle of the scene with all these major actors. So I went and started looking into how to do some training and how to do principal acting instead of background acting. Mm-hmm. And once I got that done, then I found the best photographer you could ever find. So you get the awesome headshots. And the classes I was doing, you would do 6 weeks straight of monologues, one-on-one. And anybody who wants to be an actor, that's what I would recommend. Don't go to a group class first. Go to one-on-one because that's what you need at the beginning. And you spend the whole hour just together, and you got to memorize every week. You got to memorize 1 to 4 pages of a monologue and tape it, and then there's your demo reel right off the bat. You don't have to have real footage because obviously you don't have any. Yeah. So you make a monologue. You make a monologue demo reel, and then you start applying the stuff, and then that's what I did. And then they started calling me back. Yeah.
And I don't blame them. You've done a lot of commercial work. So what came first after you said, okay, I'm gonna stop doing the background? I'm guessing you were on what's that website for background actor casting?
No, I got an agent. So you just there's hundreds
for just background work.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
There's tons.
Okay, we're gonna talk later.
Yeah, sure. They were calling me every day. They're calling me every day. And I'm like, well, I got to do my accounting job, so I can't go every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I started, I'm like, yeah, they'll call me once a month maybe, and then all of a sudden they're calling me every day. I'm like, okay, so apparently I'm good at this background stuff. So then I went into the principal stuff, and I started booking there too. So it's like, okay, good. The trend's continuing. Mm-hmm. So the very, very first thing I ever did is actually no one will ever see because the client didn't use it. Did a commercial for a mattress. And they thought it was too funny. We did a Ghostbusters parody, and they thought it was too funny. so they didn't use it. But that was the very first thing. I have a copy, but there isn't one in the wild. So that was the very first thing I ever did, was a commercial for a mattress.
Did you have lines, or was it just physical comedy?
I did we did the, the original Ghostbusters where they have the ad to hire the Ghostbusters, the three of us. So I was Dan Aykroyd, and I did the impression, and I did the whole thing related to buying a mattress. so yeah, they thought it was too funny. So I was like, I'll take that as a compliment, actually. So yeah.
I did actually want to point that out, because you've got a lot of your stuff on your Instagram, which is fantastic for research. You and your comedy instincts and your physical comedy are spot on. I am going to be studying it. That little Shreddies commercial where you just do the little tap on the little lid.
Oh yeah, the Shreddies commercial. That was improv too, that part. They told me just get out of the chair. I'm like, okay. So then look what happens, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of acting and getting into it, so you're originally from Hamilton.
I'm still in Hamilton, yeah.
Yeah. So did you, or do you have to do a lot of travel for the extra work? Do you find the industry's really kind of popped up in that area?
Oh yeah, everything from the first, I did the background for 3 months, and I don't do it anymore. And then the last year is all principal, but the entire 13 months or so, it's all 80% is Toronto. And then I've done a few in Hamilton and then Mississauga and a couple in Niagara, but 80%, 85% is in Toronto. Yeah, so you should see my 407 bill. It's nasty.
I was going to say, yeah, they have toll roads there, don't they?
It's scary.
Yeah.
I can't deal with that traffic, so I take it up 407.
I want to go back a bit. You mentioned having a significant collection of films and the like. What stuck out to you initially that made you that interested in the process to want to be a part of it?
Star Wars, right? So yeah, I'm an 80s child. Well, I'm born in the 70s, but mostly 80s child. And yeah, I went to the drive-in to see Star Wars, and then Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi in the movie theater with my parents, and that's it, right? You're stuck. You're hooked. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Eh? We don't.
And look at the 80s. So I grew up with Back to the Future, Gremlins, Indiana Jones, all the good stuff, Breakfast Club, and then I didn't see these in the 80s because I was too young, but they're still awesome. It's like Revenge of the Nerds and Terminator and Predator, like all the amazing movies you can think of are like 80s movies.
Yeah, I'm a little older than Abby, a little less than you. We're close in terms of age, but yeah, in terms of film and the like, I remember that one of the first ones that truly kind of blew me away was Terminator 2. And I mean, I saw it when I think I was 11 or so when I first saw it. But even then, I could kind of appreciate some of what went into it. And so I figure that's probably the same kind of thing that drew you to Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Terminator 2, I seen it. Terminator 1, I was too young. I couldn't because I was restricted. But I seen Terminator 2 in the theater, and I was like, look at this movie. That was the first one with the major special effects that were incredible. And yeah, all of them. Like I did see Predator 1 in the movie theater. That one wasn't restricted, which I don't understand. But that one completely blew my mind. It's still one of my top 5, top 10, probably top 5 movies of all time. And yeah, you've never seen the original Predator? Oh my God!
No.
Yeah. We have 2 separate shows that we run on this network, but one of them is Fine You Pick, that came out of probably something I'm sure you've experienced where you're with somebody and they haven't seen this movie and you go, how have you not seen this? And by the way, since she mentioned it, Predator is now on the list. But anyway, it kind of came from, she had never seen Alien.
Yeah.
And I consider Alien as one of what I call a perfect movie that I'm not sure you could take away anything or add anything and it wouldn't diminish it.
I've never seen any Alien movie. So we
haven't seen any of
for
them.
The show.
Have you seen Back to the Future? Have you seen that at least?
I have probably seen it. I probably don't remember it. So I'm not a movie gal. That's the thing. Like I feel kind of like an imposter whenever I speak to people and they're like, "Oh my God, I love movies," and they can rattle off they have their collections and stuff, and I like TV. So
thanks to you, I'm getting like my next probably year's worth of picks. Yeah, I gotta write down now.
Yeah, I'll send you a list when we're finished. All the 800 movies I own.
Yeah, it's this kind of magical filmmaking time, I think, because it was, computers were just starting to come in, but everything just felt a little bit more real. I think we're discovering.
Yeah, for sure.
Hope anyway.
And then they still hold up, most of them too. Like a lot of movies
Yeah, because they exist, right? Like we just watched RoboCop because Fine You Pick also came out of the whole like, oh, what do you feel like watching tonight, honey? Oh, I don't know, I don't want to watch that. It was, what about this? Well, I don't want to watch that too. It's like, fine, you pick. So I picked RoboCop just because we just needed a brain break, and you can see the stop motion in it, but that's an actual physical object. The what is it, Edie? It's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. The little robot. It's an actual physical object. That's a costume that poor Dr. Peter Weller had to wear through the whole thing and suffered greatly for the art, but it doesn't look the way, say, a James Bond movie from the 90s looks that is a little bit over-reliant on CGI. It's
exactly
that movie magic. So
even like all the original Star Wars stuff was stop motion, but it's still like Tauntauns maybe look a little weak. But most of the stuff, it looks good. Like the spaceship stuff is incredible still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and learning about that and all the matte paintings and things like that.
So what are we looking at here?
Here is just a wonderful example of all these stormtroopers, and nobody knows that it's a matte painting. You just assume that this is a very large set.
I've been acting for a while, and then I took a little break. Nothing professional. But it was, as you say, I kind of wanted to see how the sausage was made as well, because we also watch DVD extras and Blu-ray extras. And now I'm starting to think, like, okay, well, if I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about, I should probably go experience it myself. So I can only imagine that even if you're, a background actor on set and you have no lines, things like that, I imagine that so long as you're not getting in anyone's way, you can probably learn a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, that first 3 months that I did background before I switched to principal, the very first set I did, like I said, was that movie with Linda Hamilton. And they sent everybody back to holding, and I just stayed. I'm like, what is that big giant black curtain thing? Like I'm watching that to do the lighting, and I'm just like sitting there going, oh, okay, that's interesting, that's cool. And some of the people on the crew were actually smirking at me. They're like, this guy, like they actually appreciated it. I think they're like, okay, this guy's actually here because he likes it.
Yeah. I mean, why? I got to figure, because background work is a lot of long days, mostly just standing around, I think. Eh?
Yeah. First one there and the last one to leave, and you do like a couple hours of work. Yeah.
On a related note, is there anything that really surprised you the first time you got on set that you didn't expect?
Yeah, actually, I got lucky. Actually, a lot of things I've gotten lucky with. It seems like fate is destined me to do this stuff. So the very first thing I ever did, in front of a camera, and again, I hadn't even done any training yet because I just went this background just to screw around. And we're in the courthouse, and they wanted us to talk before the lawyers come in. And I found out later that some of the background stuff, they just want you to have your mouse move, which is like, even if you're good, that's hard. That's very annoying, right? But they actually said to us, like, just talk, because the audio's not on. So just talk. So the woman beside me, I'm standing beside her, and again, I'm super uncomfortable at that point because it's the first time I've ever done it. And I looked at her, and I'm like, okay. And I just went into straight crazy improv stuff. I'm like, so what are you doing after? You want to go to Vegas? You want to get married? Right? And her jaw dropped, and she's like, what? Right? And then we sat down, and she looks at me, and she goes, I'm staying with you for the rest of the day. Like you just made me feel super comfortable here. And so the fact that they let us talk because they knew it wouldn't be in the movie, that like pit in your stomach, that's like, what the hell have you done? Why are you here? Right? If we had to like mouth it, probably would have got hurt, because that's uncomfortable even when you know what you're doing. Yeah. But the fact that I just let it loose, and that's where I discovered, okay, I think you actually are supposed to be here. And I just let it loose, and literally, like I said, this woman was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm sitting with you, because you just calm me right down too, because she just reacts naturally to my craziness, because she doesn't know what's coming out of my mouth, and she doesn't have to act now. And I was like, yep, I'm comfortable, I'm good, what's next? And so it was kind of lucky that the first thing I ever did, they let us improv, and I just let it loose, and look where I am now, right?
And you'd never done any of this in like school, like not even high school theater, or?
Nope, never. It's all. I've always wanted to be a director, because I watch camera angles and lighting and music. Especially music's my favorite thing in the movie. And I looked into going to night classes with the job, and all the directing classes are full-time courses, and I couldn't. So I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to work. But what I've realized is having the director brain, that I call it, works incredibly well for this acting stuff, because you just know what to say and where to go and what to do before the director even tells you what to do. Yeah. And it just seems to work, because my brain is movie brain. And that's what's helped me massively. This is why I caught on so quickly.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to like I'm remembering that scene where you say pine cone like 14,000 times. You got your little foot up there.
Look, you see my ankle? I stepped down on a pine cone, right? And then, boom! There goes my ankle. Pine cone, you know. Doctors never saw anything like it. Freak accident. How'd it happen? I don't know. No one knows. There's no answer. Pine cone.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that scene through the lens of what you're saying, and I can see your brain sort of, which makes sense now that I know that you've got this big vocabulary of having watched these movies. Like, you know how long to wait for a beat that's going to be funny versus
Right.
like too awkward. They're going to have to cut it and things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's I should watch more
I
movies.
appreciate you saying how easily I made you laugh, because I had a couple other actors that said to me, "You got like comedy superpowers," like, and I'm like, okay, well and that's just from me watching Jim Carrey and Robin Williams all my life, right? I just know it. It's just in my brain. So yeah, like training. Obviously, everybody needs training, but it's just something that is in me.
No, you're really funny, and it's the physical stuff too, which, like, if you haven't even trained, is extraordinary. So I will be studying your performances if I ever get a Shreddies commercial or anything like that. It's tough, man.
Yeah, that was that wasn't even in the script, that part.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, let's just have you get up and leave and go in.
Well, that's
and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And that was great. Then it made the cut. So it's like, hey. So yeah, that you never know what's going to make it.
Yeah.
So you always do everything as best as you can. And
just in terms of like the future and what you'd like to see, what you'd like to do, what's kind of the dream? Would you like to, do a sitcom? Would you a regular guest appearance?
Well,
where would you like
right
to go?
Now, like, I just completed a couple weeks ago my first American cable television feature film.
Really?
We had guns. We're gonna have a CGI helicopter, and like it's awesome. And it's like, okay, I got my like legit, like big, not big budget, but to me big budget movie, and that's what, if I could do that for the rest of my life, we're good, because this is not work. This is fun.
Yeah.
And if you can do something that you love this much and it's not even work, then that'd be amazing. So the number one goal, which we'll probably never get, is obviously being a Star Wars movie and then being a Michael Bay movie. If I do those two things, I'm good. I'm done. Right. And I think number three is I want in that Alien. I want in Alien Earth season 2. I want in an Alien. Right.
There you go.
So those are like the three things that would be like the top, but they're very, very far away unless Michael Bay's listening. So give me a call. But yeah, I just want to be able to do this on a regular basis, which I am, but obviously you got to be in the union. So that's where the more money gets paid, right?
Yes.
So
thank you for bringing that up, because I had questions about. So are you a part of that?
No, I'm not. I'm trying, but they don't let me in yet. But hopefully soon.
Why? Is it just because the projects that you've been doing aren't actor projects, so that you don't have your?
Right. You have to do a union project to get into the union. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everything. Well, I've done a couple of union projects, but they didn't count. Right.
Oh.
So talk about comedy. So next Friday, Disney's got the Jonas Christmas movie coming out.
Yes, I saw
And
that.
I am Will Ferrell's double in that movie, and every single thing that's on his face is me. Right. So I danced in front of 2,000 people at a Jonas Brothers concert in Massey Hall in the front row, the 4 songs, and Disney crew giving me high fives, and they sent my footage to Will Ferrell to watch. And that's a massive, giant project, but because I didn't talk, I don't get the credit. Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's the most awesome story of all time, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can get credit just from saying one line, but I got to like dance in front of 2,000 real people, not background, not actors, real people. And half of them thought I was Will Ferrell from a distance because I had the wig on and had the Jonas Brothers shirt. And that was an incredible experience. And the most important thing is I was pretty good before then, but there ain't nothing that can scare me now. When you go do something like that, you're not afraid of anything.
Yeah, that's what kept me from doing this for a long time, was just fear of like, oh, nobody's gonna looks, or I'm too old, or I'm too young, or they're gonna. For women, it's more like they're gonna make you take your shirt off. But yeah, no, I and it's been a year, and you have like 66 IMDb credits.
Well, no, I have 34 IMDb credits, but I've done 66 things. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna the other 33 are coming. So.
Yeah, well, some of them they don't give the commercials. You don't get credits and stuff, but
don't you?
I've done at least 65 things in the year, and then I did I'm doing 2 movies today. Like I already did one this morning. I'm talking to you, and I'm going back at 7 and do another one. Right? This is what I do on my weekends.
Really, and it accommodates your day job essentially.
Yeah, well, sometimes you have to do the stuff during the week, so then I'll do the accounting during the weekend. So I've had 2 different periods where I worked like 35 days in a row between the 2 jobs. So yeah, I don't get holidays anymore. I just work. But like I said, this isn't work.
You really have to be in a speaking role in an actor-approved project. Just 1 or 3? Because SAG, I think it's 3.
Well, the 3 is they get full actor. 1 is good, and then you become an apprentice. Okay. Or you can do 200. You can do 200 hours background. You also can.
Okay. You must.
But if you want to do speaking roles, like a lot of people do that, and now they're stuck because you can't do non-union jobs if you're in the union. So how are you going to build your resume if you got in through background? You need to do speaking roles, and you can't because obviously they're not going to hire you on a union project, which is like the big time stuff unless you've done it. So you don't really, unless you're just happy to do background, then you can get in actor with 200 background actors hours. But if you want to be a principal actor, you need to get in like doing a credit.
Yeah, and we like the union. The union is good. Unions are good.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm just saying it's door I haven't opened yet, but hopefully that's obviously the number one next goal is to do that, because basically 80-90% of the stuff you see is all union stuff.
I'm just impressed that you have been working so steadily, rather I guess that there's this breadth and volume of work available to non-union actors, because I don't know anything about this. I'm assuming that I can't get an agent unless I'm already part of ACTRA, but to be part of ACTRA, I got to have an agent. And
nope, anybody can get an agent. You got to have, number one is the headshots, most important thing. You find the guy, and I know the best guy. And like I said, do the monologues for a demo reel. Demo reel doesn't have to be footage at the beginning. It can just be 2.5 minutes of you doing 4 or 5 30-second speeches. Yeah. And then you can send it to agents, and they'll hire you, because some of them, there's all different tiers again, right? Like some agents want union people for like the big giant projects, but the commercial stuff is all non-union. So mostly commercial stuff. So agents will hire people with less experience to help get into the commercials and build your experience up.
I'm learning.
So yeah, you never say you can't, because how did I do this, right? I never been in front of a camera in my life, and look what happened.
Yeah, so, that was part of my of Abby's season 2 character arc in season 2 of the UpNerd podcast, was figuring out that nihilism means nothing matters. So just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, if you're afraid the camera will catch it, it catches everything.
Yeah.
Right. Like even that Shreddy's commercial, like that first scene there where it's like super close up. Like we did a few wide shots, and then we took a 10-minute break, and I come back and the camera's like 5 feet away from me, and I'm like, oh, that's a little close. But you just beat it down. You're like, whatever. Right? It is what it is. If you're worried, you're done. So you can't be scared of anything.
But that's the thing. So I'm a theater actress. You can smell the theater on me. You can hear it in my voice right now. So I'm used to the big movements, right? Whereas you grew up on movies. So
which probably helps. Yeah, I've met a few theater actors, and they say they have a hard time adjusting because they want to be big. But when it comes to comedy, I like to be big because it's fun, right? So it's just the instinct of when and not do it. A lot of classes, they want you to be still all the time. They're like, there's only one Jim Carrey and there's only one Robin Williams, only one Will Ferrell. And I'm like, yeah, well, I do what my gut says, and if the director don't like it, they'll tell me. Yeah. Right? And the comedy stuff, they usually like it. So there's nothing wrong with big, but it has to be in the right spot, obviously. And I would say to anybody that's auditioning, they call it, it's not my term, I read it on Instagram, it's called the dangerous actor. They refer to Walter Goggins quite a bit. But you just do something crazy, like not super crazy, but just something different that's not in the script during an audition, because they're watching the same thing over and over again. Then you do something nuts. And they're like, what's this guy? So that could backfire with some people, but most of the time it'll work because it's just something different. But it has to fit, obviously. So that's, again, you need to have the instinct. You can't just be doing crazy stuff that doesn't fit. But if it fits, like I do that almost every audition, I'll do something that doesn't make sense. But it does make sense. and it's to stand out, do something different. Well,
and you're booking. So you must be doing something right.
Yeah, and it's more fun too, right? It makes your brain work, the creativity.
Yeah, no, it's funny that you mentioned that, and it makes me feel a little bit better. I again on Instagram, Amy Jo Berman, who used to be the vice president of casting at HBO, offered a free seminar on how to audition things like that. She said essentially pretty much the same thing, which is that when you receive a script, you're going to read it, you're going to take note of what your initial reactions are, and then you're not going to do that because everybody's going to read the script that way the first time. And people who are, she calls them amateur actors versus professional actors, people who are amateur actors are going to give you that same performance that is expected, that is anticipated by these casting directors, because it's, as you say, they see 1,000 tapes a week of the same scene. So anything that just stands out that little bit, and it doesn't have to be big, it just needs to be something that takes them out of the daydream, if you will. They just want to see something interesting, because if it's interesting to them, and they're professional TV watchers, if you will, in theory, it will be interesting to the audience as well once, you know, the actual TV show gets made.
Yeah, but again, you have to use your instincts, and you can't go over the top for no reason.
Yeah.
And comedy is easier. You can even like improv a little bit. But that's the easiest of them all, right? There's certain scenes, especially if it's only a half-page scene, you can't do a lot to change it. You just try to do it as best you can. So you can't always do it, but there's times where you'll just get the bell to go off. Okay, let's do something here.
Yeah.
Right? But it depends on the script, obviously.
Yeah, you kind of have to read the room a little bit.
Exactly.
Which again, you have incredible comedy instincts. This is not easy for most people to really stick it. I mean, other people have other strengths. They have those, you know, sort of dramatic instincts, if you will, and things like that. But yeah. Yeah,
it's funny. Like, and again, there was more comedy movies from the 80s to the 2000s. They don't, if you think about it, they make more TV shows. They don't really make comedy movies that much anymore. And there aren't, like, the sitcoms are, I don't really think they're that, like, there used to be one like every 10 minutes. So actually, I do more bad guy roles than I comedy. So I have that kind of lucky thing that I can also scare you, which is really hard to do. If you're funny, you're usually not scary, right? But what do you, I can do both.
Which do you prefer?
I think it's like 50. I think it's like 51% to 49%. I would probably pick comedy, but it's like an adrenaline rush to see, because I've done stuff and I've seen the entire crew blow up laughing as soon as they all cut, and you just get this massive rush, right? Like you just made the entire room laugh. You're like, yeah, that's a massive rush. But then the other one, like, you can see the crew too. They just start, like, they just go into a zone watching you when you just start ripping the lines that are scary. So there's an adrenaline rush to scaring people too. So they're both really good rushes. But yeah, I'd say comedy's just a little bit ahead. Maybe 55-45. We'll go with that. But I like them both because they're both different things, and they're both not they're harder than they look to do. They're not that easy. Yeah, and like, everybody's always calling me Will Ferrell, and he doesn't need to do it. He's a superstar, but I don't really know anything he's done that's scary. But Robin Williams could scare the hell out of me. So there's a guy that was funny that could also scare.
Yeah, 1 Hour Photo, for example.
Never seen
1 Hour Photo.
Oh, good. Another movie you haven't seen. All right.
Yeah. I mean, pick a movie. It's very likely I haven't seen it. I wasn't a movie kid. I don't know.
I've done that. If you went through those things on my Instagram account there, I did a movie called I Flash Married My Best Friend, and that was a vertical reel, and I was a really disgusting character, but I went 50-50 on it. I went like nasty, scary, but also like she'd need me in the nuts at one point, and I just bounced around and made a bunch of noises, and everybody's laughing. Like, everybody loves that scene. So I kind of did a 50-50 even in the same role. I did scary and funny even in the same role, and it worked.
It's exactly that, sort of pulling an emotion out of the audience, regardless of if it's a laugh or if it's something else. That's very hard to do. Yeah. That's the fun of it, you know.
Yeah, it's very fun, for sure.
Yeah. So what is a vertical reel?
Well, they're everywhere, actually. They're basically hour-and-a-half movies. They're on, there's like, how many apps on the internet, on the phone? There's like 20 of them. There's like soap operas, basically, and they're hour-and-a-half movies, and they cut them into like 62-minute chapters each. And you have to buy a weekly subscription or buy tokens to watch after the first 8.
Really?
And huge. Like, China and LA and now Toronto and Vancouver and Montreal, like, they're just pumping them out every 10 minutes. They're huge.
Really?
Oh yeah. I've done 8 of those already. So
Yeah. So okay, so that's interesting. And they're not union projects.
No, but they just signed an agreement with Actors to become union. So we'll see. We haven't done one yet that's union, but yeah, they're mostly all not.
I can imagine that Actro would really have something to say about that. You know.
Well, they're good now because they see how much business they're making. Like, they're that like they said, that one I did this on an app called Real Shorts. And last time I checked, that 22 million views already. Like, 22 million people watched this movie. That's more than a movie theater. because people are on their phone and they want to watch. It's easy. It's like this huge audience because it's just convenient.
I'm thinking of that David Lynch quote where he mentions that, like, people just watch movies on their phones now.
Now, if you're playing the movie on a telephone, you will never in a trillion years experience the film. You'll think you have experienced it, but you'll be cheated.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, and since it's broken into chapters, they don't have to watch for an hour and a half. Watch 10 minutes now, 10 minutes later. And
which is great when you're in between your 3 jobs.
They're here to stay. They're a monster business, man. Yeah, for sure.
All right. I mean, it clearly fills a need. I mean, God, no, I'm half of the YouTube shorts that I get seen in my algorithm are like actual TV shows cut up into 1-minute shorts, and people are just trying to push out that content that way. So that's how I watch movies, essentially.
Yeah, so, for the on-the-go generation, right? Just check it on your phone when you get a chance. They come up with this marketing plan to break this movie into 60 chapters, and it works. Yeah.
Incredible. How's the pay? You don't have to be specific, but you mentioned your 40. Is it the 401 or the 407 down there? 407, yeah, the Trans-Canada. You mentioned your toll road bill. Is it larger than the total paycheck you have made?
Well, it depends. Like I said, I have the accounting job full time, so I'm okay. But there's jobs you get paid quite well. I've done jobs I got paid more than my accounting job. That's amazing. But there's, especially at the student films and some short films, you don't get paid at all. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But that's fine and you'd be surprised how many people still audition for that because they want to be in the movie. And it's not about the pay. It's you get to pay about $100 an hour for training. So basically, there's no better training in the world than practical, doing the real thing. Mm-hmm. So even if you're not getting paid, you're basically making $100 an hour because you're not going to train, you're doing it real. So that's the way I think of it. So you're training on the spot with every movie you do, and that's why I've done 65 projects. That's like hours and hours and hours of practice, basically, right? So money's not important at the beginning. You need to build a resume, and it's fun. It's better than going out doing something. You got to go make a movie. Who cares if I get paid at the beginning? So it's not all about the money, right? The only reason you got to worry about the money eventually is if you want to quit the real job. But the way I've been balancing stuff, I've done out of the 65, I've done maybe 20 things for free. So that's what you do, especially at the beginning. No one's going to give you thousands of dollars because no one knows who you are. So you have to build your resume, you have to build your skill, and yeah.
No, that's the other thing too, right? It's how fascinating that we've had 2 actors on this show who have both had. There was Greg Allen Martin, who was the former deputy district attorney of Los Angeles County, and now you, who's a CPA, right? Like these are professions. They're professional people, and you're still able to do this. No, I really wanted to have you on because you are doing it. You have a goal, and that was, you want to be in pictures, and you're going out and you're doing it. You're finding a way to do it. So I think that's a very important lesson that our audience can take. I know certainly for me, it's been nice to see that it's not just a crazy pipe dream and that it is possible.
Yeah, well, thank you. I've had a few people tell me that. It's inspiring. I'm like, whoa. Right. So again, I still get a kick out of you guys even wanting to talk to me. I'm like, really? Oh, okay. Right. So that's a
sure. And not even because like, oh, we got it. Like, oh, what was it like working with Linda Hamilton? No, it's because you put in that Instagram post that a year ago, this was my second time on camera. And then you follow that thread and it's like, oh my God, like he's doing it.
When I first started, a lot of people were laughing at me and they're like, what are you doing? Okay, you're going to be an actor. That's the big thing with the commas around it, right? Obviously, the parentheses. You're going to be an actor. But I said, I want to be in a TV show and I want to be in a movie. When I did the background, I said, but I want to do those and I want to talk. So that's what I said after I was on Murdoch Mysteries, the third one. That's what made me say, I can't do background anymore. Mm-hmm. There was guys that on there, they'd been a extra in the police station for up to 15 years. Yeah. And good for them. They're happy, they're good. But I was like, these guys couldn't throw you one sentence in 15 years. Yeah. I know. So I was like, they're not going to throw you a sentence. You got to go get it. Yeah. So that was where the mindset changed. It's like, okay, fine. No one ever is going to give you anything. You got to get it yourself. I pulled a Brad Pitt and I did the background. I don't really call it background, but they still send me stuff, right? And I can't do background because you can't audition for a speaking role if you've already been on the show with background. So I can't do background. But the greatest sent me a request, and I said no. And that's the Muhammad Ali show that's coming. It was coming for quite a while. And they asked me to be a spectator in the audience for the 60s Olympics. I was like, no, I can't do background. And then they wrote me back 2 hours later, and they says, well, you're booked. I'm like, well, how? I said no. Right. And then they're like, well, you were requested. And I'm like, how? I said no. But anyways, I'm like, okay, fine. If I'm requested, I'm not going to say no anymore. So I go and I find out I'm giving the gold medal to Muhammad Ali. Right? I'm like, okay, that's not background. Like I don't care if you talk, to be honest. I just want to contribute. Right. So I'm good. Sure. That sounds awesome. Anyways, I ended up having to give them the medal to all 3 of them, silver, bronze, and gold. And they told me to shake their hands. And I just start talking to them. I'm like, congratulations. And Muhammad Ali starts improvising with me. He gives me a hug. And I'm like, you did a great job. I'm very impressed. And we did this for like 8 takes. And finally they go, can you stop doing that? Because we were going to get you a mic, but we can't afford it. But it hasn't come out yet. And if they use that take with us talking, then that's an actor credit right there.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like it's just
that's what Brad Pitt did. He started out as an extra being a waiter, and he started talking, and the director tore his head off. And I took that as a huge compliment, actually. I'm talking on an Amazon show without permission. And instead of them coming to yell at me, they actually had a discussion about miking me up so they could hear me properly. Yeah. But it's just totally understandable. It's not budgeted for. You're not supposed to talk, so we can't pay you that rate. And it's like, no problem. I just appreciate you letting me get away with it for 8 takes. Yeah. And just like I said, 2 weeks ago, I've done 3 feature films in the last 2 weeks. But the one of them, like I said, is a major budget American film, and I'm like dying to see that. And then I just did the lead role in a Bell 5 TV show. So I said I want to be in a TV show. I want to be in a movie. Well, I've done it. I did it.
And it's been a year. Like, it's been a year. That's the crazy part. So, I don't know.
And I've been a lead in a TV show and the lead in a feature just this month.
Yeah.
And like the lead. Yeah. So it's like, that's pretty good, I think.
And you're still eating. You're still eating good.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I definitely think your story is inspiring. And to you, I would also say, I mean, don't give up the dream. Your start reminds me a lot of somebody who I follow, Wes Chatham, who his first role was Denzel Washington came on board his ship. He was in the Navy to film Antoine Fisher. And so they were looking for people. And like you, Chatham was somebody who just loves movies. The casting director was looking for people who, quote, looked authentic in the military, unquote. He put his name forward. He got talking to the casting director. He was actually able to speak with Washington. And Denzel Washington, when he asked him, like, how do I get into acting? How do I do this? His advice was just go do it. Do what you can, get into it. And I mean, in his case, he formed a bond with the casting director who was looking for somebody for a TV show a couple years later and remembered him, and the rest is kind of history.
What show was that?
It was Barbershop. But I mean, fast forward now, he got a writing and director credit on The Expanse, where he starred for 5 years. But in 2023, he was on a Star Wars production as a star on Disney Plus's Ahsoka. So don't give it up. Like, it all comes
They're gonna
full
be
circle.
Making Star Wars forever.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
Star Wars is going to be around forever. Yeah, I mean, it reminds me something similar. That was the advice he was given, which was to just go out and do it. That's the only way. And there is, one of the reasons I started this show was to kind of put positive light on a lot of things, because there's an awful lot of negativity out there. There is no shortage of people who will tell you you cannot do something or that'll laugh at you for trying something. But the only way you're ever going to know if you can do something or not is to go do it.
Exactly. Yeah, like I said, that very, very first time on camera, I felt super uncomfortable. And then I just started improv, and I was like, okay, I actually can do this. And then that was it, right? You just got to get over that original little hump. And now I'm dancing in front of 2,000 people in a Will Ferrell wig. Like, I'm not afraid of anything. So,
yeah, I mean, there's an alternate universe somewhere where you didn't take that chance, and you are still wondering.
Those little Doctor Strangelove moments where somebody has a choice to make.
Hopefully, we'll keep in touch after this. You can let me know how it's going. It's
yeah. No, we'd love to have you on. Clearly, you know your stuff. We appreciate your time greatly. So
my story, like, people get a kick out of that sometimes too. These casters, like, you're an accountant who wanted to be an actor. I'm like, yeah. It's like, you were in the Canadian Forces for 7 years and you want to be an actor. Yeah. You look like a cop, but you love Star Wars. Yeah. So it's like that makes sense, but they like that. So yeah.
We appreciate your time. We'll let you go have some lunch before you're on your second acting job of the day. Very, very pleased to meet you, and thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thank you. It's the first time I've done something. I could talk for a good hour. It was fun.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I gotta go to work in an hour too. I got an 11-hour night shift.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're working tonight.
Yep.
Pinecone.